won't give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I'm a survivor. Keep on survivor. I'm a survivor.
Welcome to Tonto's Demise Podcast, Week 11. I'm Detonators, Tonto Bowl 6 champ.
I am Detling Tontable 1 and 3 champ.
He's on delay. He's only a 3-second delay, a live delay.
Just a lot. Well, I was wondering if I didn't know we recorded the intro song yet.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
And we did the song, obviously, for Craig, for me, for Crick, because we are survivors and we are going to get up. I don't know the lyrics, actually.
I'm a survivor, too.
You are. You are a survivor. Survivor of what? Asian boys? Asian lady boys?
What? That's just mean.
Wait, what? This is like last week.
Huh? I don't recall anything about Asian ladyboys.
Oh my goodness, that was like a big part of the podcast. You're just blocking it out. You survived it. Don't worry.
Okay, I survived it. Survived up to a 5-5 record.
That's right, and you are now on the inside looking out. And you bumped Josh into 7th place, so that's got to feel good.
It looks beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Matt Damon on Mars looking up into space by myself going, I'm here, I made it, I just have to survive.
You have to survive somehow. I mean, it's going to take some kind of crazy trade to like actually be in this for the long haul. So good luck if you can pull something off, because I think the deadline's tomorrow, today or tomorrow. So you know if you're working on something.
Wow.
You better get to stepping. Let me ask you a question, though. Last week, you and Craig both said that the top 6 are probably the actual playoff teams. Do you still feel that way today?
No. Now that I'm in the 6, no. And the fact that another injury has crippled my season. Edelman, which would mean, why wouldn't I seek out a trade, Brian?
I mean, you should. You absolutely should.
Yeah, I
mean, that's what I've been doing.
Exactly. So I don't understand why you're saying stuff about trades. I mean, if I get a trade to better my team, I don't think anybody will blame me for it.
I would hope not. I mean, you want to see like people with the best possible teams, you know. So,
right.
Gotta hope that you can pull something off, because you're gonna need it if you're gonna make it to the playoffs.
Well, yeah. I mean, since Gags pulled off all those shitty trades, I mean, there's probably no reason why I shouldn't try to pull off a trade with somebody either, especially if I'm willing to give up something from the future.
From the future. Yeah, I mean, Gags did pull off some insane trades, but I feel like they were just poor trades from some of the other owners. That's all.
Poor trades that gave them a Tecmo Bowl season that where obviously the managers either don't care about their team as much as they should.
You know, I think we should go back and look at the timeline to see when the trades happened, because it might be interesting to see how he worked them all, because it might have been a brilliant strategy for all we know. Maybe someday we can interview him. Like, maybe he had them all lined up and ready to go. I don't think so, though, because I think that a couple of them fell into his lap.
I blame Josh, actually.
Yeah.
With the Aaron Rodgers.
He's the number one offender.
If you look at the team and you're like, oh, Cam Newton in our world isn't that good, but you're going to give him the guy that is the best, Aaron Rodgers,
right?
Which gave him that was the final piece, that was the keystone to his team.
He gave him someone else too.
I don't know. Somebody gave him Eddie Lacy. Somebody gave him Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah, I think that was Crick.
Yeah, and I don't know what else. Jonathan Stewart, which he used for a trade bait.
Yeah, that was it.
I gave him Des Bryant, but I got Calvin Johnson and Jordy Nelson. So I think mine was justified.
That's definitely justified. I need to go back and look at how these trades actually happened, just to see how this dynasty was built. Dynasty obviously isn't the right word. He only has one championship.
And he just lost to you.
Exactly. I was going to bring that up. Trivia question. You're the only 2 teams he's lost to?
I do know that answer, Brian. It would be the Tonto's Demise podcasters, Brian Volsky and Matt Detling.
Yep, and it feels so sweet to have those 2 losses come from us. We bash him every week. At the same time, admire his team, but it's great that we were the only 2 to take him down so far.
True. And I don't know, is this the first time in history that the 2 podcasters have taken down the 2 top teams in the same week?
I don't know. We'd have to go back and look, but that's true. Because you took down Tree, and I took down Gags.
Right? I
Wow.
mean, I wouldn't really call it taking down Tree.
Yeah.
Tree's team just sucked worse than mine. And
You have a lot of those wins.
what's that?
You have a lot of those wins.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
You won.
are you
You
talking
won
about?
that other week with like 128 points.
I never had 120.
Yeah, well, I think it was against Justin Bohoric. Jacks are better
Justin Mahori beat me.
with like 128 points.
Yeah, he beat me.
You just were involved in the close ones. That's all.
Right. Well, Bean should have beat me, but he didn't play like Danny Woodhead or something.
Yeah, Bean should probably be undefeated.
Just give credit to Bean. I mean, he probably should have a stronger record than he has, but what are you going to do?
He still might, even if he gets into the playoffs, he still might get the Browns pin because he probably could have earned a bye.
I don't know. I'd pretty much give the Browns pin to Jimmy at this point.
Probably. Can we give? Well, he hasn't made a lot of horrible moves though. The Browns pin's about just being a horrible manager.
But he hasn't made any moves.
Yeah, that's true. I think he did make one trade with his brother.
Collusion.
I think that people just like to say that word. He gave him like Nelson Aguilar for someone in return. I forget who. I think it was
Terrible.
what's the guy? The former Steeler wide receiver.
Nate Washington?
No, Mike Wallace.
Mike Wallace?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Mike Wallace for Nelson Aguilar. So
But,
didn't really
I
do
think of
much.
Nate Washington right away. So I think of him right before Mike Wallace instantly. I think Nate Washington was a way better wide receiver.
Better than Santonio Holmes.
Ooh. No. San Antonio Holmes was something special.
Yeah, better than Plex.
Was San Antonio Holmes better than Plex, or was Nate Washington better than
Nate
Plex?
Washington.
Gosh. Gosh.
That's a tough call because Plex was like a
Plex was a deep start.
Yeah.
He was like Martavis Bryant, but Martavis Bryant has better hands
better speed.
and a better brain. Like, he doesn't spike the ball right in the middle of the field. And he doesn't carry a gun into a nightclub that we know of yet.
Yeah.
I mean, although he does have like tattoos, probably I think all the way up his head and all around his neck and everything. It's kind of crazy. So who knows?
All right. Well, we're not going to rank previous Steeler receivers.
All right. Well, I would like to say that Martavis Bryant so far has been the better receiver than Sammy Watkins, and they both went to Clemson at the same years.
I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Samuel Watkins has kind of been a bust.
He doesn't have a quarterback.
He doesn't?
No,
Tyrod Taylor?
not a quarterback.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he does. Look at his stats.
I will look at his stats.
He's got decent.
He'll bring it up here live.
He's got quality stats. I'm not saying he's like a top 5 quarterback, but he's probably top 12.
You're out of your mind.
No way, man. Justin Bohr can back me up.
Oh, very dense.
He picked
Very
him up.
Dense, Brian.
Very dense. All right. Like you said, last week's podcast, we should have started out with the theme music of Ramble On because that's exactly what we're doing again. We do these 10-minute intros, and they really have nothing to do, a little bit with the league, but
And I guarantee you next week's going to be a 10-minute ramble on as well, since it's the Thanksgiving special.
oh man, I can't wait. We'll get to that. And I was going to bring that up in Unfinished Business because we're going to kind of just put it out there to the whole league. Well, let's do it right now. We're already talking about it.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking. We want to do unfinished business right now? Or you
Yeah,
wanna do-
ready?
All right. Unfinished business.
Nice. First thing up, we're just moving right into this. This is a live show. I just wanted to extend the invitation to the entire league to the Kitchen of Love or Justin Bohorik's Kitchen of Love, wherever this goes down next Wednesday night at, what do you think, around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock?
I'm open to whenever. I mean, I will be there in Johnstown, so I'll be going back Tuesday night. So
Okay, I'll be getting in Wednesday evening, probably around 7 or 8. So probably the earliest I could do is 9.
okay.
And Bohorik and Kabisco, what time are they usually done?
It's hard to say. I think Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I don't know if it's too busy. I would say by 10, but no, maybe even earlier. I remember us going there earlier. So if it's not busy, usually they start cleaning up.
Oh, yeah. Usually Justin's cleaning up and Craig's playing with his balls. Just saying.
Yes.
So I liked it when we had it actually in Rizzo's in the back room. I thought that was kind of fun. It was classy. I mean, Justin Borg's kitchen was also fun. It was intimate.
Yeah.
But we didn't start it until what, like 1 in the morning? It was late.
Yeah, and I remember Craig and them. Craig said you should be rolling camera or rolling
Yeah.
tape as soon as you walk in because all their good ones are there and they
Yeah.
forget them all.
We
Obviously, they're not pros at this podcast thing.
No, not at all. We BS'd for probably like 2 hours, and then we finally decided we were going to do the show.
It's usually the longest podcast of the year. It's way too long.
Way, way too long. And I think what we need to do is just, as soon as we get there, just start it. Because that's
Yes.
pretty much what we do every week when you get here.
And also, we need to do for matchups. We need to not have everybody do their opinions on the
Yeah.
matchups. Have
Yeah.
like just pick 2 people.
Do we
per
care
matchup.
about their opinions anyway?
Not really, but do people care about our opinions?
No.
See, so well, let's give them their shot. I mean, if Bean shows up, we'll give him a shot too.
Yeah, Bean did say that he was going to be our featured interview guest. So I hope that, I know he said he couldn't make the Turkey Bowl on Friday, but hopefully he can make.
Oh, he couldn't make the turkey bowl.
You didn't
on
see
Friday.
that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, because I think he must have posted that on the message boards. He said that he couldn't make it, so he didn't really say which team he was going to choose, which offer he was going to choose, whether he was going to play like slot receiver for the Vaginas or QB for the douchebags.
I just like to state that since QB was the more attractive offer and the more honest offer, saying we don't care if Brian thinks you suck, we still want you to throw the ball because we have faith in you, Kevin.
The question is, like, does he want to be on the winning team?
I think Kevin would just want to be on a team that has a good performance and that no matter what the outcome is, still goes out to Dairy Queen or McDonald's for burgers or pizza afterwards.
You're absolutely right.
So I think that Dentley's Douchebags is the way better option.
They need to get a new team name.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. You don't even show up. You haven't been there for like 4 years.
Well, Brian, there's only one person that shows up every year for my team, and that's Zach Sankey.
That's pretty much all you need.
Everybody else is gone. They've left. They've made their marks and left Johnstown.
Okay, man.
K-Man, he has to play quarterback all the time. And I believe he came to our team because you didn't want him anymore.
He did. No, he wanted to be traded.
Why did he want to be traded?
I don't know. He wanted to play with Zach. Now we're getting into people who aren't even affiliated with this league. So we'll save that for Thanksgiving.
We can argue about tree size.
Yeah, he's got great hands.
Stone hands.
No way, man. When he puts those gloves on, everything sticks to him.
Gloves. He wears gloves. Receivers gloves. You guys actually wear football equipment to a turkey bowl. You guys have cleats, football receiver gloves. I wouldn't be surprised if you had thigh pads when you ran.
He probably
Slash.
does. Who, me?
Yeah, Slash.
I should get some. Anyways, yeah, Tree Size, he's got a few MVPs for the Turkey Bowl history. Proud of him. He'll probably get another one this coming year if he shows up. Hopefully it's not too cold.
I am bored of this turkey bowl talk. Can I have a quesadilla
Me too.
or what?
Yeah, we're going to have a quesadilla. All right, we're going to break and we'll come back.
It's too tense for you, Ryan.
Hello, we are not available now. Please leave your name and phone number after the beep. We will return your call.
Oh, my love, my darling, I hunger for your touch. Oh, sorry, I was just having some flashbacks to Detley and I's last pottery session. Anyway, this is Venus talking. And, Detling, I do have a suggestion for you, though. I think somehow, there was a confusion, in place that is somehow Huber Squasher hunting season. So I think you should just have everyone on your team start wearing bright orange hats and vests, because apparently they're just getting picked off one week after another, just shot and taken down and mounted somewhere about someone's fireplace. So that's my suggestion. I do have some unfinished business for the rest of the league. What are you guys doing? You had one job, and that was keep Craig out of the playoffs. And here he is, scratching and clawing his way in. He got -5 points from Peyton Manning, and he still won the game. Guys, you know what's going to happen if Craig makes the playoffs. He's a sneaky little son of a bitch, and he builds his team specifically for the playoffs, and if you let him in, he's just going to end up causing chaos for the whole thing. No, you keep Tree Sice in because his teams score about 110 points a week. You keep Detling in because it's fun to have him there. And I would appreciate if you kept me in. And then everything else is fine. It doesn't matter who else, just not Craig. So get on it. Head him out.
All right, Delling, what are your first thoughts on that?
First thoughts are that Kevin Bean does have a lovely voice, and I actually wanted him to sing the whole song.
Because he was serenading you?
Not just, well, partially me. If I could tell a story.
I'm sure.
Sure. All right. Well, first of all, what is the gay club in Johnstown?
I honestly don't know.
Crap. I don't know what it is either. It's terrible.
I know the one here is called the Eagle.
The Eagle?
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's been closed for years. Anyway, whatever the gay club is in Johnstown, down on whatever street. So I went there one day.
Great story so far.
So I went there one day because the one waiter at Ryan's was gay.
Hey, we're not going to judge. Whatever.
One Ryan's waiter that I knew was gay. He wanted everybody to come down for the drag show night. Drag queen night. Drag show, whatever it is. So I said, yeah, sure. So he went there. Oh, no, he wasn't even in the drag show. It was another night. Okay, I might have been in this gay bar a couple times.
Hey,
Don't judge.
We don't judge. We accept
Okay.
all.
All right. Well, so I got to this thing late, and I walked in, and they were sitting there, and they were talking, and it was like karaoke night, and they were saying, "Oh yeah, it's been great, but this guy, they already gave all the prizes out, and this one guy really got screwed. This guy sang really well, and they gave it to this other loser who sounded nothing like this other guy." And I go, "Oh wow!" I was like, "And I go, where's the guy at?" And they go, "Oh, he's over there." And I look, and it's none other than Kevin Bean. Is hanging out in this gay bar by himself,
Karaoke.
karaokeing, like by himself. So then he comes over, he sees me, we make eye contact, and there's no, like awkward, I'm at a gay bar and you're at a gay bar. And
Wait, is this PG the rest of the story?
yeah, it's PG the rest of the way.
Okay, because I don't want to know what happened to you and Kevin when you left the bar.
We did not leave the bar together. Kevin left with somebody else. No, no, I did not. Actually, I don't even know if Kevin left with anybody. I don't know if it was one of those things where he's trying to hit on a girl that likes to come to gay bars. Kevin's got some weird things when he tries to hit on people, or did at least. He's married now. So, but then he got up and he sang a Boys to Men song. No, I think it was "I Will Always Love You."
Okay.
He brought the house down.
Wow.
Everybody there, we're just coming up fainting, and gay guys were bowing to and everything like that. And they're like, "Oh, please always love me." And it was just amazing. And they were like, "I can't believe you got screwed out of the $50, first place." But it was just such a funny part.
So you got
Lucille's. It suddenly came to me.
Crystal Googled it.
Oh, come on. Yes, she did. Lucille's is the gay bar, and it's on Clinton Street?
Sure.
Ritten's? Whatever.
But the point of the story is you were having flashbacks from that night whenever you're listening to Kevin Bean sing to you, right?
I was. You're not going to say he doesn't have a lovely voice?
Oh, he does. He does. But I also didn't do a modeling session with him and his penis. I mean,
Listen, we were doing the porno version of Ghost. And I was Patrick Swayze.
the gay porno
He
version.
was Demi Moore. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
And the model that we did, we sold to Gags, who now uses it as a bong.
But you you said that it really was the original was half the size.
I did. Well, I mean, things have to be enhanced. Americans love bigger is better no matter what. Gags thinks he's a bull from Texas.
That's true.
So we had to do it. We had to adjust it. And everybody's happy about it. Gags gave us a great review on Yelp. And he wants to buy another version. And he said something about the Vulcanhizer.
Oh my god.
So
I will not allow you to do a naked sculpture session with me.
well, it couldn't. It doesn't have to be Ghost. It can be it could actually be what's that? There's me, you, Crystal. So it's you, me, and Dupree. So
Is this a trade offer?
think about it. You know the movie You, Me, and Dupree.
I do.
It's a spitting image of you in the two short soccer shorts, and you're playing hockey out on the street with the kids.
I'll consider it, but
It was like you consider that tattoo.
I'm just gonna move right along.
That's what I said. That's what I thought, Brian. You're never adventurous.
I guess not. Yes,
I
this
mean,
just happened.
you don't think
Detling
we're-
wanted me to get naked so he could sculpt my penis.
How come I'm so surprised you did not experiment in Lock Haven? That's where you went to college, right?
Yeah.
The land of lesbians.
Yes, the capital, lesbian capital
Yes.
of like Pennsylvania.
I mean, like, why was there no experimentation in Lock Haven?
What am I supposed to experiment with?
Everything. Women.
But they're all lesbians.
So, I mean, Brian had a lesbian haircut in college.
Take it back. I'm trying to think if I actually did. I had many haircuts. It's very possible. Anyway, getting back to the call, which I can't believe that we've talked like about 8 minutes about Kevin Bean, his penis, gay bars,
Right.
And lesbian haircut.
yeah, and lesbian haircuts. So the main part of his message, getting back to reality, fantasy reality, if you will, is that I agree with Kevin Bean. We should have knocked Craig out because now he actually has life. You know, he's giggling over there because he knows he's never going to play Peyton Manning again. He doesn't have to, but we've given him room to like improve. We've given him a chance to like get into the playoffs. He loved that Antonio Brown came in the game, flipped into the end zone. He's loving every second of that.
You know what I compare Craig to? I compare him to the movie Leprechaun. There's like 12 of those things, and they won't stop making them. Craig
Yeah.
is that little leprechaun or troll or whatever in the corner of like a horror movie.
Yeah.
He might even be like Tonto's Demise's Babadook. Because it's the one thing you don't want to let him anywhere near the playoffs because he'll kill people like left and right. You don't expect it coming. And Leprechaun's just gotten worse and worse, just like Craig's teams have gotten worse and worse. Like there was
Wow.
Leprechaun in space. You know,
I haven't
mean,
seen it, no.
okay, well, you don't need to see it. You just understand it's leprechauns in space.
Yeah, it's like Ernest movies. Like there's so many Ernest movies, and they all
Right.
sucked except for Ernest Goes to Camp.
Exactly. I don't know. The Halloween Ernest was pretty good.
I have never seen that. Ernest Goes to Jail.
Ernest goes to jail is pretty good. Let's not bring Ernest does anything. And I mean, some of those movies are like those are our childhood movies. Leprechaun goes to space. I mean, there's Jason X. But let's go back to Leprechaun. The movies kept getting worse. Craig's teams are worse. I mean, he even wins with -7 from his
That's
quarterback.
because nobody will trade with him anymore.
Well,
And after this year, nobody will trade with Gags. Well, I don't know.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Yet Gags will probably do something stupid.
Yeah. So yeah,
Well,
maybe
I think it has to do with you pretty much like downplaying Craig's every move, explaining to the whole league how he writes a paragraph of why it would be good for you and him to do the trade.
I'm not the only one who does that. Everyone knows that. It's a fact. Everybody, if they went to their email, they could find at least 4 or 5 emails where there's like a page written about why this trade's going to work for them. I guarantee you, everybody who's been in this league has a Craig Kubicki email like that.
I don't think I have one. I don't think I have an email like that.
You go look. I bet you it's there.
I will have to look. I don't think Craig's ever made me a trade offer that where he's written a lot about it.
Wow, in like 12 years, he's never made a big trade offer for you?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I know we've talked trades, but it's never been like emailed. We kind of like gone back and forth, phone texting and stuff like that. But then we kind of just we talk a big game from each side and we won't commit.
You all both back down?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I want something that he was not willing to give.
Fair enough.
Much like he said this year with both trades, every trade he was trying to do, everybody wanted either probably Antonio Brown or Julio Jones.
Right.
Which, looking at his team, rightfully so.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you go after them?
Yeah.
But yeah, Tree Size has a chance to take him out this week. If he can't get the job done, I will.
Oh, big talk, sir.
It is big talk. We're both just playing the survival game.
We have 3 weeks left before the playoffs.
3 weeks.
So if you don't do it and Tree Size doesn't do it,
I don't know who he plays last.
well, who does he play first? I don't know that either.
Well, he plays me first in the league.
First game of the season?
Yeah.
Was he first? Oh,
I don't know who he played second.
okay.
So
What else did Bean say about Tree Size? So everybody wants Tree Size in the league.
yeah, 110 points in the playoffs. Tony Romo. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and he says, "Please let me in the playoffs as well." I like
Yeah,
that.
it was kind of like begging to get into the playoffs, which I think that he'll definitely get in.
I think he deserves to be in. He hasn't been in. I don't know if he was there last year, but we haven't heard much from Bean in the past.
Yeah.
He had those like 2 back-to-back championships. The first
Yeah.
back-to-back champion, as he will let you
He'll
know.
never let us forget that.
Yes, I actually have a T-shirt somewhere of it.
Really?
Yeah, it's the one where you're sitting on the toilet reading the Fantasy Football Index. It's
yeah,
back-to-back
yeah,
Fantasy
yeah,
Football
yeah.
champion. Craig was able to give that to me as a gift.
That's
Which is
great.
pretty awesome.
That is awesome. You still have it?
I know I didn't throw it out.
All right.
I
Try and
just
find it. Wear it to the next draft.
I've been trying to find it because I wanted to wear it at the drafts, but I haven't been able to.
All right. Well, it's out there somewhere.
Yeah, so it's a good one. It's good. So yeah, he should be in. I'd like that, and like he said, he likes to have me in the playoffs because it's fun. I get real amped up and jacked and ready to go.
Yep. So he only really named 3 teams that he wants in the playoffs. So we'll see. I hope that someone, well, hopefully me, but it would be great if me, Craig, or Crick makes it in because it would be a pretty crazy run to get in.
I was gonna say Crick. What's Crick? 3 and
He's 4-6.
no, he's 4-6. You're 4-6, and
Yep.
Craig's 4-6.
Yep. It'll
And-
take probably a win out to get in.
Well, yeah, obviously for the Magic 7.
Yep. Because Craig has more points than you, and I will soon have more points than you.
Oh boy, I can't wait to stomp you.
In the playoffs or what? I mean, I beat you this year
did.
really bad, over 200 points. That was brutal.
It's like your best game of the season.
I think I had 2 200-point games. Was one of them. Anyways, let's move on.
All right. Well, as always, good Venus talking.
Yep. Did you say penis talking?
I said Venus.
Okay.
But everybody can get their Venus bong at detlingvenus.com, and it's selling for $39.99.
While supplies last.
All supplies last, and we can do a 2-for-1 special. And if you would like to also have a custom-made penis bong of yours for the lady in your life during Christmas or Thanksgiving, let me know, and we can do a videotape session. Trade time, trading guys, excellent.
Excellent.
Way.
All right, so the trade this week so far, there might be more, we don't know yet. I gave away, obviously, Phillip Rivers, Duke Johnson, and Hauschka. And in return, I got Tannehill, Macklin, and Sturgis. And I'm catching a lot of crap for this trade, and everyone's calling it rape, which I really think that people are going to think differently after a couple weeks. And I'll let you put your 2 cents in a minute. So the reason I did it was I don't survive this week with 2 crap receivers. I don't survive with Javon Curse and Marquez Wilson. No way. Like, they're going to get you combined 3-4 points if you're lucky. And Phillip Rivers, as I mentioned before, I think that he's a great quarterback, but without legitimate receivers, I mean, who does he have? He's got Antonio Gates, Malcolm Floyd, and Stevie Johnson. Is that right? Stevie Johnson?
Say it again for me.
Whatever.
Stevie Johnson.
I think that he doesn't have the weapons to have a monster performance. When he had his 80-point performance, Keenan Allen got probably 40 of those points. And I just don't see another receiver on that team pulling that off. I think Rivers is going to get you 50 points, and it might actually be enough for Treese in the playoffs. And so it definitely improves his team, but I think Tannehill going up against the Cowboys this week is going to be a good matchup. I think Tony Romo's back. Well, he's supposed to play. He might be a little rusty, but he's going to do a lot better than who was in there before.
Matt Castle.
Yeah, Matt Castle. So Des Bryant will probably get a touchdown, which I'm sure Gag loves. But I think the Cowboys are going to run the points up a little bit. Tannehill's going to throw more. I think Tannehill probably does as good as Rivers, if not a little bit better or a little bit worse, but in the same ballpark. But I do think for sure that Macklin is going to outperform any of my crap receivers. So
Who are your crap receivers?
I already said it while you weren't listening.
Oh, what were they?
Javon Curse, or whatever, is that right? Yeah, Curse and, the heck's his name? Marquez Wilson. They're so crappy, I forget their names. So, Macklin's going to outperform both of those guys, probably. So, I had to make the trade. I've got some decent matchups going into the playoffs for Tannehill and Macklin. They have to perform, obviously, and I know Treese was probably tired of waiting for Macklin to perform, but there was a stretch where you and I both said, wow, Macklin's actually legit. He had like 3 or 4 weeks in a row where he had over 20 points. So if he can go on another run like that, it'll be huge. So that's my reasoning. I don't care what anybody thinks. It's going to get me to the playoffs.
All right, so to rewind there, you just said, I don't care what anybody thinks about my trade.
And I'm getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, so even if it was trade rape, You said, I don't care what the league thinks.
It's true.
Those are your words.
Yeah.
Quote those words, people. Quote those words. Okay. So, yeah, you traded away Phillip Rivers, arguably your best quarterback.
Oh, he's definitely my best quarterback.
All right. Who you were like, oh, Rivers is going to take me to the promised land. Da, da,
That was
da.
all hype.
You were being a hype man, so you could trade him away
Yeah.
for Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill.
Do you say Tannehill? I say Tannehill.
I don't know what the hell it is. Stupid. Tannehill. Anyways, the guy that you just traded Rivers to a guy that called out a practice. You're a practice, control your checks, practice squad player.
I don't care if you like Tannehill or not.
I don't like Tannehill. I think
know
he's
you
a
don't.
jerk. He's got a hot wife, but he's a jerk. Usually that's how it is with the football players. Oh, they're jerks and they got hot wives. Spoken by a true soccer player. But no, so you got. Why did you want? So okay, I guess we can agree that with Tree Size, the Tannehill experiment is collectively over.
Yeah.
Since he's like, I'm going to get rid of him. I kept him
Because he
this
kept
long.
him this
He didn't
year.
do anything for me.
He had a couple 50-point weeks.
Yeah, and you're getting rid of Duke Johnson Jr.
Good riddance.
Good riddance, the guy that you got in the 6th round. Keeper value, guys. Keeper value. He's going to be the Cleveland starting running back. Oh,
Yeah, I already admitted that was a mistake.
that's probably one of the biggest mistakes. That's the biggest mistake since picking Clinton Portis over Priest Holmes as for the number 1 pick.
Let's stick to the draft. Let's stick to this trade, all right?
Oh, come on. If we could do like a David Letterman's list of top 10 things that Brian has made over 12 years or 13 years, that would be great.
Whatever.
Craig, get on that. I know you have like a list of 30 of them in your
He already
closet.
has it ready.
Yeah, he does. He's gonna open that closet. He's got like files on all of us. But okay, so I don't know. I mean,
Do you
Macklin-
think it's a horrible trade? I don't care. I'm just curious.
I just don't understand the kickers. Why kickers?
I don't know. Tree Size wanted Hauschka, I guess. I could care less. I basically just wanted to do Rivers for Macklin and Tannehill. Everything else is just fluff. You know, I don't really need it. Yeah.
Well, here's what I think. I think Rivers can get you the 80-point game or the 60-point game
Still?
still with the receivers because he's Phillip Rivers. The moment you doubt Phillip Rivers, like you just did, is the moment you're done. And what I'm trying to say is that December is the hottest month for Rivers. It's proven time and again. You can ask Gags that won him a championship, and I'm pretty sure every December he does it. So now you gave Tree Size. It's like giving Tree Size a loaded gun in a knife fight. So I think he might have raped you.
I disagree.
All right, I'm just saying, you got Macklin on a run-first offense. You got Tannehill. He just doesn't have that great of an offense. It's all the Lamar Miller show. And Jarvis Landry, which is a possession. He doesn't have like a long bomb kind of guy. So you're going to depend on the Miami Dolphins dicking and dunking. I'll stick with the word I was going to say. All over the field. And then you're going to depend on Alex Smith throwing 10-yard passes to Jeremy Macklin all day?
Yeah.
That's your plan?
Yeah.
All right, well, I mean,
You gotta look at the matchups too.
I guess I'm going to call you the MacGyver of the Fantasy Football League because as MacGyver needs only 3 things to create a bomb, apparently you need only 3 players to make the playoffs, and they are Ryan Tannehill, Macklin, and Sturgis.
I'm not playing Sturgis.
Well,
I just took him.
he is part. Who are you going to play?
I'm gonna play my kicker who I have right now. I got the high pitched voice.
Who's your kicker now?
Blair Walsh.
Blair Walsh.
Yeah. The Blair Witch Project.
Oh, sick. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. I don't necessarily agree with the trade. I would have stuck with Phillip Rivers myself. I would have tried to figure something else out. But of course, I would have never thought in my life that you had been able to trade Duke Johnson Jr. But I was proven wrong today.
Yeah, somebody wanted him.
Did they?
I don't know. We'll see what happens this week because I think that if I can make it through this week, there's a good shot of me making playoffs. And I really just hope, I told Craig this on the message board, that I hope that we both win so it can be an epic matchup next week. It's not like a all or nothing, but it will be a nothing for someone. Whoever loses is out.
How much is what's the prize money for first place?
I don't know. It's been a while since I won. I think
Well-
it's probably like $240.
All right. Well, if you won the $240,
Where the pudding?
worth the pudding. Bear the ball. No, would you use the money to to buy a PS4?
I would consider maybe a part of it. I mean, the other money I would probably buy a Tannehill jersey, or as you say, Tannehill.
Not buy that.
I probably would just to smear it in your face.
And curse yourself for another 6 years. My point is that if you were to buy it, so if you use this money, you're going to use it to possibly make a big purchase, right?
Yeah, of course. So I could have it as a memento.
Okay. Are you going to talk about this with your wife?
No, because it's money that I win with my own money.
Oh, so what? I thought it was like when you guys are married, everything is we.
Yeah, but fantasy football is fantasy football.
Well, I mean, what about when she like makes money from her art?
Hey, when I win like at poker, I take her out for dinner stuff.
Where do you go?
I don't know. The one time I won over $100, and I came home and I just gave her out money. Period.
Really?
Yeah.
You gave her the $100?
Yeah.
He did.
There you go.
Actually, my mom was here and he gave it to me and my mom.
I said you do whatever you want with it.
So you did it in front of her mom. It wasn't a genuine act. It was to impress her mom.
This is probably true.
Oh right, because I
I'm a
need.
little bit afraid of her.
I do not blame you.
I feel like
bigger muscles than him.
I feel like I'm being attacked.
Problem.
Being attacked. Abort.
Shot me upside the
Abort.
head once
Yeah.
for no reason whatsoever. She was being like, what was it? I forget what it was. It wasn't racist or feminist. It was something. I said something. She took the wrong way.
Yeah, jag off.
Yeah, but I didn't mean it. It was like totally. I wasn't even trying.
Yeah, and she probably wouldn't like your photos online.
What's photos?
Car photos.
Car photos? I don't know what you're talking
We'll
about.
do an experiment. You post a picture of your car, see if Wanda Armagos likes it.
Wanda Armagos likes everything, okay?
What are you saying? She's a Facebook whore?
Whoa. I never use the word whore. I mean, you may be addicted to Facebook, but I would never call Wanda Armagos a whore. Listen, I'm not,
Let's say,
you're not
no.
trapping me into that game, sir. For the record, Josh.
I am telling.
Yeah, but Josh, when you hear this, you go tell Stacy that Brian is the one that said that word, not Detling.
All right, but I asked you a question. I never called her that.
Oh,
a
you
question.
insinuated. If you were like a writer, you were trying to trap me.
All right, we are just attacking each other, and it's getting ugly.
Getting tense, Brian.
Very dense. All right, that's enough about that trade. I feel like I'm the only one that does trades anymore. Do you have anything going on like behind those scenes?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Curious if you have any trades in the
I'm
works.
trying to work some stuff out. I would love to work stuff. If anybody wants to bring me some trades, I'm open. Obviously,
For about 24 hours?
I'm over 24 hours. My main home is the hospital right now. Another injury going down to the end of the season. Julian Edelman. It's a painful one. That was my best receiver, and I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I do feel bad because when we bury you, like we're gonna have to purchase like an entire like quadrant of the graveyard just to bury your team. And by the way, we are going to bury you.
Oh, you're out of your mind. I am like the Pharaoh, and when I die, I'm taking everybody with me, including my cat.
Okay. Where are you gonna get buried in like a pyramid?
I believe so.
Okay.
I mean, they are pretty cheap in Johnstown, so you can buy a pyramid, good price, probably a down payment of $5,000. Get you a pyramid in the old St. Anthony Cemetery.
All right. Well, I'll be there.
You better. You're giving the eulogy.
That's true.
Friday.
All right. Last thing we'll mention is that the trade deadline is Friday. I'm not sure if that means by the end of Friday or if it means by the end of Thursday.
Yeah.
But
I have no idea either.
maybe Craig or someone can clarify that because I looked on our actual league settings and it just says Friday the 20th. So if you're doing a trade, I'd probably get it done tomorrow just to be sure. So Delling, you got 24 hours.
You got 24 hours too.
I do, but I think I'm done. I think I'm set. I think I'm ready to go.
I got a trade for you. I'll give you Calvin Johnson,
Okay.
Ben Roethlisberger,
Okay.
and D'Angelo Williams
Okay.
for your wife.
No deal.
Come on.
Oh, jeez.
Trying to be the Robert Redford in that movie with I'll give you $1 million for one night with your wife. But it was in the form of fantasy football.
You are a creep.
A creep. You don't even. I was just gonna go out to dinner with her.
You are a creep.
She hasn't objected.
That's because she wants a free meal like you do every week you come here.
That's true. It's a good,
Oh, it's true. He does come here for the free meals. Oh, my goodness. We have
they're
it on tape.
fantastic meals, man.
We have it on tape. The truth
And I
is out.
Thank you every time.
Just like on X Files, it says the truth is out there. We just found the truth. It's out there.
Comparing me to X Files? Like you think there's
Yeah, we cracked the case.
I'm glad. Yeah, are you David Duchovny and she's Scully?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mulder and
I can see
Scully.
that. You have to slick your hair back though. You have to be like that. Slick your hair back all greasy like.
All right, I'm ending this.
Come on. No, come on.
Unfinished business. Part 2.
Purdue.
So there were a couple things that we didn't get to the first time we did Unfinished Business because it was like live and on the fly. And this is kind of like a out of control podcast. So Delling's drinking.
Again.
So the one thing I wanted to bring up that Craig failed to mention in his previous video was that he made a point to point out that one of us, either me or I think it was Jimmy Huber, could have gone 0-6 to start the season, which would have been the worst start of anyone ever in Tonto's Demise history. But he didn't point out that I think Craig might be the first person to go on a 6-game losing streak. He might actually have Tonto's Demise history in the books. I could be wrong because there have been some teams, me being one of them, where I might finish like 2-11 or like 3-10. So there could have been a 6-game losing streak in there. I'm not sure, but it's worth checking, Craig, to see if you have the first 6-game losing streak. And I'm sure you probably already know the answer to that. Any thoughts from you on that?
If in fact Craig does have the first 6-game losing streak, it'd be pretty funny because he's the Wizard, known as the Wizard, and now also known as one of the worst teams in the history of
Yeah.
the league.
Best and the worst.
Best and the worst. There's no middle ground.
Any unfinished business for you?
For me specifically, no.
Okay.
But I guess what we're supposed to talk about,
Yeah.
what Craig gave him on the message board about how if there's a situation where the quarterback is injured, goes and tries to start and play, but then gets pulled because as Craig put it, ineffectiveness or something. And an example was Peyton Manning, who was put on the field to go play and had
Threw like 4 or 5
four interceptions. Yeah. He thinks that there should be. I believe Craig said he thinks that he should get points for it.
Well, he just said this
For the backup?
talk about, yeah.
Okay. Well, personally for me,
Because here's the situation: they didn't pull him during the game because of an injury, but it was later revealed that the injury it got worse throughout the game, but it wasn't
Right.
like an apparent injury,
right. Well, I mean, from my personal standpoint, I think that if a team, because we did not know about the injury until the game, right? Until he started.
Yeah.
So
I think we knew he was a little bit injured, but
Yeah, but who isn't a little injured
yeah, that's
these
true.
days?
Yeah.
At this point in the season. My point of view is if you're going to try to get points from the backup from getting yanked for what's perceived as ineffectiveness,
Which you later find out is an injury.
an injury, I honestly think that no, you should not get those points. Because also you can argue, because I'm going to argue, if you're going to give it to the quarterback, I want it for the receiver, I want it for the running back, because running backs play through injuries all the time, and so do receivers.
Yeah.
So I mean, and how it's just like a big mess to me. I mean, and if you have no other choice but to start that quarterback, that's your own fault for drafting bad. So
But I agree that there is a little bit of a gray area and I think it's worth bringing up, and I'm glad that he did. It did take me about 15 minutes to read because it was anything Craig writes he does with due diligence, and he makes sure he writes.
I thought he repeated himself like 3 times, like 3 different paragraphs saying the same thing.
Are you like a 4th grade writing teacher now?
I would never claim to know that I know how to write. But
You need an introduction.
nah, honestly, if I had to write a paper these days, I would literally need a book to tell me how to write a paper again. Like, you would probably laugh at me if I turned in a paper, as would Joe Catula, to the library, because he's like a graduate librarian, whatever they call themselves. But
Yeah.
I would not be able to do it, honestly. I'd have to have a whole redo.
Okay. Well, let's get back. I threw us off track there. But after I was finished reading it, I think that there is gray area because it was kind of an injury that prevented him from continuing the game. However, it wasn't really a hit that took him out of the game. It was just like
That's right.
something that got worse, but we couldn't really see it. So I'm kind of siding with you though. I feel as though
Yeah.
our QB injury rule is working pretty well as it stands, and I think it has to be like a hit that happens during that game or an ankle or whatever. It has to happen during that game, and they announced that he was injured and he's not returning.
Right. Yeah, because if this happens, say if we do went to points for the backup, like what if other quarterbacks now, like so if Matt Stafford gets taken out of the game because he sucks, now Kevin Bean's gonna be like searching frantically for any possible injury news on Stafford, like he sprained his thumb,
Right.
and then he's gonna argue, well,
Right.
it's an injury, so I should be able to get those points, and
Yeah.
so Manning, we really didn't know about if Manning was effective, we would have never knew about it. They would
That's
never
true.
tell you about the fashion.
Right, because like you said, people play through injuries all the time. I mean, Big
Yeah.
Ben shouldn't have played that game, but he did because he
Well,
had to.
don't even get me started on that. That's if that was unfinished business about Big Ben. If you can go out there and perform like he did, you should have just started him
I agree.
and not have to screw me over my mind because I would never put D'Angelo Williams in the flex. I would know he wouldn't have gotten the passes, and I'd also like to thank Kirk Cousins for outperforming Ben, which was a brilliant move by me. Toot toot. But I'm just trying to say, if he's that good a starter, just start him. I mean, I guess is it really the Steelers pretty much saying that we felt we could beat the Cleveland Browns? They were so bad that we didn't even have to use Big Ben.
Yeah, I think that's what they're saying.
Yeah, and it just and it came to fruition once Landry Jones hurt his foot like on the second play of the game or something.
But it probably saved my season, probably saved Craig's season. Because
Right.
Antonio Brown got a crap load of points, so did Martavis Bryant. We wouldn't have if Landry played the whole game.
and it might not have saved. It might have hurt my season.
Yeah.
Which is what I don't like. It's like, you guys are 4-6 and staring down at you guys. I want you guys both to be dead 3-7.
Of course. But getting back to the conversation, I think we're on the same page that if it's like a pre-existing injury and you get pulled due to ineffectiveness and then it's later revealed that it was the injury that pulled you out, no. It has to be like announced that he is injured and not returning
Right.
during the game.
Yeah, I agree.
But what about this? This is another scenario. Let's say that Big Ben starts a game, he twists his ankle, he gets pulled, Landry Jones comes in, but then let's say the third quarter Big Ben comes back and he finishes the game. Do you get Landry Jones points for the second quarter?
Yes.
See, I would say no.
I would say yes because it was an injury that forced Ben out,
Okay.
and he was able to come back in because he toughed it in the Willis Reed style.
But I thought it would be like you have to get like knocked out of the game.
No, I believe it. If it's an injury in the game, the quarterback rules are if he's injured and he's taking out, you get the points from the backup quarterback. We never said anything about if that quarterback comes back in.
Okay.
So you never that would be a pain in the ass.
I know, but Craig would do it.
Craig would what? Take away the points?
No, he would figure it out, all the points.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah. But still, I would imagine, I would want it to be like if my quarterback goes out, I think it's awesome that he comes back, but I would want to be able to root for him like, oh, it's just an ankle injury or something like that. Like when Edelman went out and he went, not that he's a quarterback, went to the locker room, I said, oh, maybe it's just a sprained ankle or something. They'll shoot him up with something and he'll be able to come out. And then, I was rooting for that. Like I would want to be able to root for that for the quarterback as well, not be like, don't put him back in the game. I gotta keep my points. It'd be just another stupid little wrinkle in this league that we have.
Okay, well then that brings us to the final point, which Craig said, well, what about like we just abolish the rule altogether and we don't even get QB backup points? If you just play the hand you're dealt, and if he gets hurt, you just lose all the other points.
Well, if we did that, then it would be. I believe we had something like that in place before, didn't we?
Yeah.
Where now we would be like people will be drafting each other's backup quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound fun.
But I think what he's saying, maybe you'd still have a fair shot at getting the backup, but you wouldn't get the points for that week. You know what I mean?
What if it's the playoffs?
I mean, I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just saying it's worth bringing up and discussing.
Yeah.
I like the backup QB rule, the way it stands now.
I like the backup QB rule too. I like being able to get points from another guy. At first, I think I was against it at first, but then after having it happen to me repeatedly, I do appreciate it because it's more fun for you. Like it's like if you lose your quarterback, you automatically think if you weren't.
It's like your largest piece of the pie, usually.
Yeah. But then again, Craig just said, "Oh my God, I can win with -7 points from a quarterback." So maybe you could still win, but it's definitely more fun for both leagues, for both teams to have that in there.
So would you say that you just vote for it to stay as is?
Yes.
I think I feel the same way. But I think it should be brought up for sure for a league vote for next year.
I mean, yeah, if you guys want to. I mean,
Yeah.
I really don't vote on anything I don't care about anymore. Like, as far as the rules, I've gotten so used to being stuff that's going to be, voted on every year that I don't pay attention until it actually comes out.
Yeah.
Because there's all these talk about, we should do this, we should do that. There's like literally like 20 different rules. We should include draft picks in trades. Thank you very
Agreed.
much, Mr. Bullshit.
Agreed.
Yeah, exactly. Which is, I'm vehemently against.
What do you think about, since we're talking about rules, what do you think about Gag's idea of like $5 per pickup afterwards?
I mean, you'd have to deal with the fact that of getting the money from the people
I mean, people would pay up eventually.
eventually. But what if
Probably
I
not
mean,
until like next year's
if
draft.
Kevin Bean wins, he wants his money right away. Like when Kevin Bean won his league, I think the first time he came flying at me like, "You gotta give me my money. My wife thinks it's only like $40, but I want my money now. Where's my money, darling? Blah 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 blah."
Like, so he's hiding the money from his wife?
Yeah, he was like hiding the money from his wife because he did not want her to know about what the real cost
See,
of the league
we should
was.
be grilling him. Well, that should be one of our questions for next week.
I definitely think we should pull that out of our hats.
Yeah.
So Bean, why were you hiding money from your wife? For wife number one. And was this the reason that wife number one was no longer that you now have wife number two?
It's on to his demise.
Was it money
Yeah.
that broke you guys down? Was it? It should have just been called. We should have named the league Bean's Demise. No, we shouldn't. Tonta's Demise is a great name.
All right, I think that's enough of unfinished business part two.
Okay,
Unfinished business.
gotcha.
You good?
I am good. I don't think I have anything else to talk about. Matchups. The first matchup we have is none other than the Huber Squasher versus the Raritan Pups. If there's any matchup that Jimmy wants to get up for, it's this one. To make Detling 0-2 versus the Hubers and name him Huber Squashed.
Yeah, this would be a great way for Jimmy to go into his wedding week. You know, next weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, he's getting married, so this could be a great present from you to him. I'm not saying you should lay down, but
Right. And after I beat him, the wedding present I will send to him is Craig's turkey leg penis and Kevin's penis.
wow.
Right.
So obviously you're predicting yourself to win.
Well, not necessarily,
But why?
I guess. I really don't have a good reason.
Are you really starting Kirk Cousins? I guess you have to.
I have to start Kirk Cousins. I don't have any other choice. And it's versus Carolina defense. It's gonna be really tough, actually.
That is tough.
I'm hoping that Mike Wallace, Marvin Jones, and Nate Washington don't do anything. And Jeremy Hill. I know Marshawn Lynch is going to get his versus San Francisco.
Yeah.
Pretty confident that Jimmy Graham is going to get his versus San Francisco as well. Oh, man. I got a lot of bad matchups. It's not looking good
He
for me.
doesn't have a lot of good matchups though.
No, well, if I had Andrew Luck, well, then he'd be starting him anyway. Be to T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah.
And Calvin Johnson versus Oakland. Oh, boy. You know, I'm just going to pick myself to win, and it's going to be by 1 point.
A very narrow margin. The Huber Squasher sounds really confident. Jimmy actually has some tough matchups. I mean, Marvin Jones and Jeremy Hill going against Arizona, that's the best defense in the league, I think. Nate Washington, do you think he's going to be covered by Revis Island? Probably not. huh?
Andre Hopkins.
Yeah, oh, good call. Yeah, so he might actually get some action. He might get some work. Mike Wallace, he's good for nothing. Kirk Cousins is going to be really tough for you, though. So I'm going to give him the quarterback advantage. I'm going to give you the wide receiver advantage. I think the running backs are pretty close, considering I think Starks or Hillman might do something. It's hard to say. He gets the advantage with Jimmy Graham because Bennett's going up against Denver. I'm going to give you the advantage with Woodhead going up against KC. And I don't know. The defenses could be close. Arizona against Cincy, Philly versus Tampa Bay. I think this is going to be pretty close, but I think that Jimmy's going to get his wedding present. I do. I think that Kirk Cousins goes against Carolina. You're only going to get like 30 points out of that, and I think Carr's going to get 50. I think that's going to be the difference. So, you'll still probably have a chance of making playoffs, but this will be the last loss that you can afford.
It's true. It can happen. And when I lose, or
You
if
were
I-
changing your name too?
and it won't be the Huber Squash. It might be Huber Squashed, or I might just come up with a different name. But I will, if I lose to both of them, I will change my name next year.
All right, we'll see what happens. And the next matchup, we have the Rook, currently sitting in first place, going up against FC Bohork. And the Rook pointed out something interesting on the message board, said that do not look at projections because he was projected to win by 40 points or more against me. That didn't happen. And FC Bohork is down 35 according to Yahoo, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than that. Tyrod Taylor, who is a legitimate quarterback, is going up against New England.
Disagree completely.
New England obviously runs that score up, and Tyrod Taylor is going to have to try and keep pace. And he's going to do so, and he's probably going to get easily 50 points.
Easily?
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers going against Minnesota. That's not going to be a walk in the park. Minnesota's got a tough D, but Aaron Rodgers probably gets the points that he needs. He doesn't get 60. Again, he's probably going to get closer to the 45 or 50. His receivers are pretty awesome. Jeffrey and Bryant. Ted Ginn Jr., not too crazy about that. But they're definitely better than Bohork's receivers. Gurley and McFadden are definitely better than Blunt and Anderson. Tight ends are a wash. The second and third tight ends in the league. McCoy has definitely got the advantage in the flex. Ebron, he probably has to play him, I'm guessing. And it could come down to defense. New England versus Buffalo. It's in New England. They're undefeated. Buffalo's got one of the toughest Ds in the league. They're starting to play pretty well. But I still think the Rook's going to win this. I think New England wins. I think that the Rook wins. And he kind of takes not a stranglehold, but he takes a firmer grasp on first place. What do you think?
Well, I mean, looking over the lineups here, it's clear that the Rook has a better lineup, mainly because people traded him a Tecmo Bowl super team. Not naming names, as I do every week. Of course, now he's got McFadden. Only thing we have to judge is that Eddie Lacy isn't performing like he should, which is good for us. And McFadden, he can't afford to put McCoy out of the flex, and McFadden's only good in the flex. And Justin, unfortunately doesn't have Drew Brees and has to deal with a lesser quarterback.
Well, definitely lesser than Breeze.
Definitely not top 15.
I disagree.
Just erroneous. No, he's got some good players. He's got some mediocre players mixed in between there. He's hoping for some outstanding career performances, and we're also hoping for some less than stellar performances from the Rook's side. And I personally am rooting for Alshon Jeffrey to get hurt for 6 weeks.
It doesn't help to call people out. It doesn't help.
Why didn't Craig put a bounty on somebody?
Yeah,
Freeman. So why can't I call people out?
You can, but it's cursed him. He finally got a win, but it took a negative point from a quarterback to do it.
I'm beyond cursed because every week a player
That's
gets
true.
hurt.
Yeah, it
so
doesn't matter what
it doesn't
you do.
even matter what I do.
Yeah.
I've tried to be nice. I've put money in those Salvation Army jars.
So why do you want
I've given people
why
hot
do you want-
chocolates
Why do you want Jeffrey to get hurt?
because it'd obviously be a big boost for Michael Bennett
Well, good
or
point.
Martellus Bennett
Yeah.
because he has not been targeted that much, which is stupid.
It's because the guy you traded me he's the real deal.
Langford,
Yeah.
I knew he'd be the real deal, but I had nowhere to put him. I have Woodhead.
Hey, if there's anybody else you don't have room for, I'll take him. If you got any other superstars, I'll take them.
Well, I mean, who knows when Forte's coming back though?
Yeah, they said that he might have him come back.
Might not come back.
They said they're probably not going to re-sign him, so they might just keep playing Langford, or they'll do a split.
Oh, well, okay, there you go.
Yeah, it might be a split.
Well, that could be bad for you.
Yeah, it could be.
Anyways, back to the matchup. I'm picking the Rook, unfortunately,
Yeah, man, unfortunately.
but I'm praying for some injuries. All right, this next matchup is none other than Twerk Kabisic versus the Mighty Midgets. Let's see
You
here.
are clinging to life.
Yes, and Twerk Kabisic is on the outside looking in. How's it feel? Let's see here. Going over their lineups. Both have interesting lineups, although the Mighty Midgets looks like they have a stronger lineup here. They've got the better receivers, Marshall, LaFell, and Robinson.
You gotta love LaFell this week.
And of course, Josh.
you, but-
Yeah, Josh is excited because he has Amendola and Fitzgerald
Yeah.
and Sanders. And I also think the midgets also have a better running back crew.
Brian
And
Stewart, yeah.
yeah, and Josh Hayward definitely has a better tight end, Tyler Eifert.
What you talking about? His tight end or his ass?
What?
You said he has a better tight end.
Oh, weirdo. I've never looked at either of their ends. I don't know if they're tight like a tiger or what. You just made me very uncomfortable, Brian. Oh boy. Flex. Moving on. Flex. Mighty Midgets is DeMarco Murray. He's better than Stephon Diggs. Definitely more possible points. And St. Louis versus Baltimore.
That's probably a better matchup.
It is probably a better matchup. Boy, but I have to go with Jimmy because he has Matt Ryan versus Indianapolis, and that would have been a shootout if Luck was there.
Yeah.
I don't really know, but and Bortles versus Tennessee could be good. But I still think, is Alan Hearns hurt? Like every time I read a
have no
report,
idea.
it's like he's got an abdominal tear or something, and then I see him play the next week and have like 10 catches for 100 some yards.
Let's see here real quick. Is he on his bench?
No, he's on Bean's team.
Oh, my bad.
but I'm just thinking it's Blake Bortles as
Yeah.
the quarterback.
I don't know. He was a touchdown machine there for a while.
He was. But yeah, I'm going with the Mighty Midgets on this one. He's going to go to 5-6. Hayward's going to drop to 5-6. It's going to be a cluster.
Wow, cluster F. So I think that I have to agree with you on this one. Although Matt Ryan has been underperforming this year, you kind of hope that he's going to turn it on and get a
The Devontae Freeman effect.
It is the Devontae Freeman effect in the real world. The Devontae Freeman effect in our league is that Craig Kubicek loses every time he talks bad about him. And no, Craig, I don't need to seek counseling. I think that I have a healthy obsession with you in fantasy football.
Oh. Someone call it a basic instinct.
And no, I am not taking my posters down of Craig Kubicek in my room.
You guys can't see it right now, but Brian is in a tight white skirt and he's about to cross his legs. Oh, the horror! The horror!
But yeah, getting through the matchup because I'm getting a little hot here. Mighty Midgets, he's projected to win this. I think that comes true. Tyler Eifert is a better tight end, but he's going against Arizona, so I don't know how good that's going to be. Jason Witten's getting Romo back, so Witten might actually win that matchup there.
possible.
Yeah. So, and Kansas City, that's going to be a tough one because Rivers is probably going to be throwing all day, so
The Rivers that you traded?
that's true. That's true. I don't regret it either. No regrets. All right. I'm just trying to get to the playoffs, and then we'll see what happens. You eating a cough drop?
I am, sir.
Smells delicious.
Because I am sick.
So am I.
Brian is sick. And you know why I was so sick, Brian?
Why are we so sick?
What made us ill was seeing Craig win a game with -7 points from his quarterback. I was so sick and violently ill from it
I know. I felt great.
that I'm still recovering.
I felt great until Monday night, and I was sleeping. And this is actually true. And I was like coughing in my sleep, and I woke up feeling like crap. That's probably it.
Mine was Sunday, man. Literally
Wow.
started Sunday, and I had to
Started
power through
Sunday.
to work. Yeah.
Oh man. So I guess we're gonna have to try and recover. Tree says you might have the remedy by beating him. That would really help us out. Knock him out of the playoffs. Anyways, getting back to this matchup.
Kill him, Tree Size. Kill him. We want to be healthy again.
Mighty Midgets is gonna go in 5-6 with Torque Kubicek, and then they will both be on life support next week.
You think it's possible this year that somebody will make it in the 6th place seed with a 6-7 record?
It's possible if everything falls the right way.
Ugh, yeah,
Let's just hope it's not Kubicek.
please don't be Kubicek.
We'll see. I'm sure Craig has all the scenarios written out on his big whiteboard at home.
He's got like 7 notebooks just with information written in there, just completely asinine.
Binders full of women. The next matchup we have Vanilla Jeff at 6-4, who I thought might have heard the Mario Brothers theme music this past week, but he didn't. He is dropping. I mean, I think at one point he might have been like 7-1. I'm sorry, not 7-1, 6-1.
I believe so.
So he might be on a 3-game losing streak. I'm not sure. I'm hoping to extend that losing streak and make him 6-5. I need this more than anything. Just like Jim Crick, just like Craig Kubicek. a win keeps me in, a loss, and I'm out to the pasture with Bajork and the commish. So looking at the matchups, he clearly has an advantage with Brady, but I really think Tannehill's going to outperform 40 because he's going to have to go up against Romo. Mike Evans has been a machine lately, and they've just been throwing the ball, but going against Philly is tough. I give him the advantage in receivers, clearly. You got Decker, Cobb, and Hopkins. That's a really nice trio. I'm going to give myself the advantage in running backs, even though they're not really household names. Matt Jones turned it on. Can he do it against Carolina? Maybe. Chris Sims, he's been a good RB2 for his team. And, Chris Johnson against Cincinnati, I don't think he's going to do much. Sproles, not much against Tampa Bay, especially not in the flex. I think our tight ends, I get a slight advantage. I think I have a huge advantage in my flex because Langford is the entire Bears offense right now. Hopefully it continues that way. I think Deshaun Jackson has a total of 5 catches this year, something crazy like that. I just pray.
He played like 2 games.
I know. I just pray that he doesn't have a breakout game. It would hurt me. And then defenses, I'll probably give the advantage to Vanilla there, New York against Houston. But, maybe Tennessee will shut down Jacksonville. I really need some help there. But, I'm only projected down by 16, and I think that I have some better matchups. The defenses he's facing are Denver, Carolina, Cincinnati, the Jets, Minnesota, Buffalo. Those are some tough defenses, and the only tough defense I see on my side maybe Philadelphia and Carolina. Other than that, I'm Denver, but I still think that I am going to actually win this game, not because of just I need to. I think I'm actually going to pull it out.
Interesting, confident as always. You are.
Not last week. I predicted as high.
Well, I looked down your lineups, and the first thing I see is Tom Brady playing against Buffalo. He's pretty good against Buffalo.
And it's in New England.
It is, and although he doesn't have his boy Edelman, he's got Amendola and LaFell back, and that just it doesn't matter who he has,
Gronk.
basically, and Gronk. He's just a machine.
Yeah,
Probably one of the best quarterbacks of all time,
true.
arguably, since he likes to deflate balls.
Yep.
And you've got Ryan Tannehill versus Dallas. He's probably going to have to throw a lot too, but just obviously he wins the
gets the
quarterback.
edge,
He gets the edge in receivers too because you have Curse, and you might not start Curse.
Might
He's
start Marquez
made it-
Wilson.
Might start Marquez Wilson, who clearly would equal Randall Cobb. And your running backs are pretty much a tie because Matt Jones and Sims are both pass catching running backs. That's what they were last week, right?
Yeah.
Darren Sproles is the same thing. You can't count. You can't count for 7 points for him.
No.
What he's projected. Chris Johnson for Cincinnati's not getting you 11 points. I'm sorry. So that's pretty much a wash. All 4 of those guys. You do have the edge with Walker versus Jacksonville though over Cameron,
And I hope that Cameron gets nothing.
right? And big advantage with Langford. Great pickup for you.
A nice trade.
Yeah, that wasn't a nice trade. I did not have any room for him with Woodhead. So I was like, well, it would have been pointless to make that. Why did I even make the trade with Woodhead if I'm going to play Langford?
Gotcha.
So I had to trade Langford for something, and I'm happy I did.
Yeah.
So it worked out. It's probably
Keep telling yourself that. I'm kidding.
This probably might be the year I've traded the most ever.
Yeah.
I really don't like to trade. Kickers are kickers.
Yeah.
Although my kicker sucks. Crosby, I just went and looked over his point totals per game. It's been terrible. It's like 3, 2, 4. It's bad. And your defenses, well, you're playing against Jacksonville, which traditionally you'd like to think they'd suck, but
They're doing pretty good this year.
yeah. And if Alan Hearns isn't playing, it might help you.
Yeah.
Now, I hate to say it, I'm going to give it to Vanilla on the strength of Tom Brady. Maybe your kooky little science experiment here with Tannehill will work out and bring you back, but you might be one of the Walking Dead.
Could be. We'll find out next week. I'm a survivor. I'm not going to give up.
Oh, boy. And the next matchup we have is Springfield Isotopes versus Possum Magic. I have said that I don't like Craig putting up Treesice's face as the Flash as an
Where
avatar.
did you get that picture? I guess Facebook.
Yeah, I think Facebook. It creeps me out.
That is creepy.
Creepy having Treese Ice as the Flash.
He is Johnstown's own Flash. Soon to be Johnstown's own.
Green Lantern, right?
Oh yeah, oh, that's right. He's Green Lantern. Soon to be Johnstown's own Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
When the current one dies.
When the current one dies. Jeez, oh man. Yeah, and I did say on the boards, I got a little stuff started. I said, as long as Treese Ice is the Flash, I do not feel safe from ISIS. Because he will not help us out.
And he's not fast?
I know for a fact Treese Ice isn't fast. I know for a fact, even in soccer, once Treese Ice, they scored a goal on me, and Treese Ice apologized because he was tying his shoelace.
I know.
So when ISIS comes and does something bad to us, and Treese Ice is gonna, do you think we're gonna accept an apology because the Flash was tying his shoelace? I don't think so.
He's gonna look good doing it.
That's good. No, he's not even gonna look good. He does not have the body for the Flash suit. I'm sorry, none of us do. I will admit it. None of us do.
All right.
Not even Gags.
He wouldn't fit into the suit.
No, but he'd try to be like, I'm Hercules.
He'd try and rip it.
Yeah, he doesn't even have the body for Hercules. Sorry, Gags. You're not a superhero. Super jerk. Next, back to the matchup. Rivers definitely outplays Alex Smith. You would think.
You would think. Yeah, I think he probably will.
I
But
think
Smith's points might be higher than that.
Yeah, the receivers are pretty even though. Green, I think, versus Landry and Tate. Watkins. Chris Gibbons versus St. Louis.
Wait, you think the receivers are even? No way. Isotopes get to the receivers.
What are you talking about?
You got Julio Jones and Landry going up against what?
Somebody's got Green and Watkins.
You think Watkins is even with Landry?
I think. Yeah, I do think he's even with Landry.
He might be. If he has a good game.
I think that Treese Ice might have the better receivers because I think Chris Gibbons is going to be really pumped up to play against St. Louis, his former team,
All right.
and Flacco might help him
All right.
because I know he was a dark horse pickup sleeper, and Treese Ice was the one to pick it up, and I thought to myself, dang, I wanted to get him. So he did get one of the players I wanted. Golden Tate hasn't done squat for like how many games?
He's due.
He's due. You can only say he's due for so long before it actually comes to fruition. And the running backs, did you?
Joiqua?
Jacqua, oh boy. Versus Oakland, Doug Marsh versus Philly. It's going to be a wash, and here's no reason why. It's because I know everybody's going to say, what about Tarkandrick West?
But he's not on the flex.
He's not in the flex, right? Like last week, he had like 3 catches for 90 yards.
Yeah.
But he only had 60 yards rushing.
Maybe Craig's working on a trade. We don't know.
Who knows? Yeah, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Knowing Craigie trying for sure.
Yeah.
In his little leprechaun ways. Now the tight ends here. Pretty even.
4 of them.
4 of them. Gates, Reed, and I think Fleener and Gilmore Crockett. They cancel themselves out, really. I'm not expecting much.
You don't think the Gates gives him a little advantage?
Over Jordan Reed? Well,
They're going against Carolina.
yeah, they're going against Kansas City, though.
That's true.
So it's pretty
Might
tough.
be even.
Teresa Sice has the kicker advantage with Hashka, newly appointed kicker. And you would think that Craig has the advantage with Seattle versus San Francisco. But Teresa says Denver, who Aqib Talib is going to be covering Jeffrey. And that Harris guy, the second cornerback, is going to be covering either, I would assume, Marcus Wilson or whoever plays.
Maybe Martellus Bennett. Well, no, you're not going to do
That
that.
I don't know. They probably have their linebackers are probably good enough to cover Bennett. To be
Yeah.
truthful,
Yeah.
I would. Seattle versus San Francisco. That's a mess.
Yeah, I think Seattle gets the advantage.
Yeah, that's in Seattle too.
Yeah. Why is he not playing Duke Johnson?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Because he's on bye.
Yeah, see, he's
That's
dead.
got to be the reason.
See, he's dead to me. I have
He's
no idea.
dead too. Terrible.
Who you go with? Do you think Craig is also defeated and put to rest, or do you think that he lives to play one more week?
I am gonna go with Treese, only because I want Treese to win.
Exactly. You just want me, Craig, to both die.
Yeah, because it would be my surefire way to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, make it a little bit easier.
We are all friends, but when it comes to who makes the playoffs, we are all enemies.
We're frenemies.
Frenemies.
Yep. All right,
And
fair enough.
as I say, keep your enemies or your friends close, but your frenemies closer. And that is why me and you are shoulder to shoulder right now.
That's right, we are. Very tense.
Get intense in here, Brian.
All right, I'm not going to go too much because I've been putting my 2 cents in here as you went along. But I think that Possum Magic is going to probably pull this out with the Rivers and Gates connection. I mean, Rivers, I think he's going to get him at least 50 points, and I think that 2 of those touchdowns go to Gates. So I think that's going to be enough to put him over the top, although Julio Jones could put up a fight. But yeah, Sharkhandrick West not in the flex could be his demise. So Craig, I think that the nail is only about half inch from being complete in the coffin, and Venus Talking will be a little bit more enjoyable when you are 6 feet under. That's just me wanting that. I don't know what's really going to happen. In the matchup of the weekend, this is a good one, boys. We got Dub C Hooligans going up against Chips, my boy, who coming fresh off of the defeat of his brother. Dub C coming off another win himself. So I'm not going to go too in-depth into this. I will for some of the players, but Matt Stafford, really? He's trying to get into the playoffs, and he's playing Matt Stafford. I don't care who he's going up against. I would not start Matt Stafford again. Is his other quarterbacks on bye or something?
No, he's
Dalton,
playing Arizona.
I would still play Dalton over Matt Stafford. I don't know. Stafford would be dead to me. Jim Bob Cooter would not have another shot at screwing my team over. So I think Palmer gets the advantage here, without a doubt. I think that the advantage goes to Jay for receivers, Cooper Matthews, and Michael Floyd. I thought it was Malcolm for a second, but it is Michael Floyd, who, by the way, has been blowing up. And I know that you were a big Michael Floyd hater, but, man, 2 touchdowns last week. He's been on fire.
We'll see at the end of the season who owes who that beer.
Okay, and who's your guy? John Brown?
John Brown.
Yeah, John Brown. And running backs, I have to give it to Jay as well. Peterson and Ivory over Andrews and Forsett. Clearly, Bean's going to get the tight end with Gronk over Clay. Devontae Freeman is going to probably outscore Miller. Maybe not by a ton, but I think he gets a slight advantage. Kickers, if we have to, we'll give it to Gostkowski. And
9th round pick.
that's right. Pick. Carolina going up against Washington will probably do better than Miami versus Dallas, but we shall see. And he has John Brown on the bench against Cincinnati. Interesting. Bean does. I don't think this is going to be as close as Yahoo's projecting. I think that Jay pulls this down with ease. And I think it's mainly because Stafford chokes. and Hearns does nothing.
Really? Wow. Well, I mean,
Look at his receivers. You got Crabtree, Hearns, and Adams. Those are all like number 2s.
to be fair, Crabtree has been on fire.
That's true.
So, that would be, and it's versus Detroit's crappy defense. So I would not be surprised if Crabtree pulled in a touchdown.
Yeah.
Alan Hearns has been on fire too, so you can't deny that. And
No.
now recently, the back from injury Devontae Adams is the number 2 receiver in Green Bay's attack, and he saw a ton of targets last week,
Okay.
making James Jones basically all but obsolete. Now as Michael Floyd,
Was
I
that
don't.
a dig on Craig?
Yeah, no, sure it was. I dig on Craig all the time. That's a weird way to say it. But now Michael Floyd, I don't really like him. Jordan Matthews, he only caught he always drops the balls, except for when he's playing against me. And Cooper's freaking Cooper, so he's awesome.
Yeah. Hanging with Coop.
Carson, you say Stafford might choke, but Carson Palmer's got to go against Cincinnati's defense.
Oh, that's true.
So that's pretty tough as well. Peterson and Ivory are huge advantages
Yeah.
over Antonio Andrews and Justin Forsett. And Gronkowski, likewise, is a huge advantage over Charles Clay, which I'm sure he's going to get
I think so.
a lot of passes
Yeah.
in Buffalo, or at Buffalo.
Yeah.
And Devontae Freeman, he's just a monster still. I mean, he's not getting 3 touchdowns every game, but still he's
Still get him at least 20.
Yeah, he's pretty powerful. I just don't know how much longer the Lamar Miller train can keep on trucking.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina D versus Washington is definitely better than Miami versus Dallas with the fresh Tony Romo.
Yep.
Man, I think this is tough. I think it's going to be a close one, but I think I'm going to give it to Jay as well. As much as I love Kevin Bean,
And his penis?
Nope, not going there.
Not gonna say it.
I feel like Adrian Peterson and Chris. I think Adrian Peterson are gonna have a great game versus Green Bay. Like maybe like another 200-yard performance. And Justin Forsett playing against that St. Louis defensive line is not helping.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take a miracle. Well, not a miracle. It's gonna be close, but I think Jay's gonna pull it out.
All right.
So we agree.
Jay will probably be in the playoffs, according to us, next week, and we think Bean will still need that one more win. He only needs one win in the last 3 weeks, so I think Bean's going to get in, just not this week.
And I believe it's not next week either. Hopefully, because I think I play him.
Ah.
So
So maybe the final week,
maybe the final week.
unless he's playing Craig. I don't know.
If he plays Craig, I definitely want him to win.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, final thoughts, Delling, for this week 11 going into what could be a very pivotal week.
Not too many final thoughts. Just want to hopefully make the playoffs, get myself further in there. I'm 5-5. I'd love to have a winning record,
Yeah,
even if it was 7-6.
yeah.
I know a lot of people out there are praying that stuff goes wrong for everybody else and that they get in too as well. I know Craig is definitely rooting to get in there.
Yeah.
He wants to laugh in our faces and cause some terrible spells against every team that he plays against, and prove to us that his wide receiver heavy draft strategy works, which so far has not worked, which is awesome. Room for everybody, but especially me.
Oh, always. I just want to point out that I am only 13 points behind you in standings, so that feels great. Feel good about that.
It does, but I also feel good that you traded away Rivers, your best point producer, so I feel great about being 13 points ahead.
Well, fair enough. We'll see what happens. And let's see, a couple quick predictions. There are two teams that could potentially get into the playoffs this week, and I think it will be, as we said, Jay, and I think the Vanilla. Did we say Vanilla's going to get in or not?
I can't remember.
Oh, I'm playing against. Nope.
Nope. I think I picked Vanilla.
And then, do you think how many deaths do you think there will be? There's a potential for 3. Me, Craig, and Crick.
I think 2.
2. Yeah. Me and Craig, or me and Crick. You said me and Craig.
I think I did. I said I said you and Craig.
Wow.
I think you may just live on.
Fight another day, and he's got a good team. Not going to deny it. Currently, he's trailing me only by about 25 points. Craig, I'm sure he loves it. He's got about a 100-point advantage on me. So if he can get the winning record, he can make it into 6th place. The other thing I'll say is that I really enjoyed the 3 dozen donuts that I ate this week because I fully intended Gags to take me up on the offer, and he didn't. So I put down those 3 dozen. They're incredible.
Ooh, where'd you get them from?
I got them from Little Pink House.
Ooh, that was just reopened.
Yeah.
There's a line out the door to get those
It
donuts.
was incredible. And I thought of Gags every time I put one down. So good.
You know, Rick Seaback was there.
Was he?
He was standing in line. He got the last 4 donuts.
Wow, that's awesome.
Also going to have an Eaton Park cookie made after him for the holidays.
I believe that.
It is. No, seriously.
And I'll bet you they'll have a statue when he dies.
For Pittsburgh, I wouldn't be surprised, man.
yeah.
Guys give him a lot to. He loves the city, loves the food.
True.
If you guys don't know who Rick Seaback is,
Look him up.
We'll look him up on PBS.
Great documentaries.
Great documentaries. Had the pleasure of having lunch with the guy.
Yeah.
Wonderful storyteller and just loves food. I mean, everybody loves him. They just come up,
He's
smile.
just a
ask
lovable
for-
guy. He's like a Doug Detling.
He is. He's like the famous Doug Detling.
Yeah.
And I'm sure my dad wishes he could get as much food as Rick Seaback does for free.
Absolutely.
One other thing. What is with this clay figure you have here that looks like an alien from The Simpsons with his tongue sticking out and a top hat from Cat in the Hat?
I put it in over there just to freak you out, put a curse on you. Right now he's taking over your soul, and you don't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Now you do.
Now I do.
Yeah.
Weird. Very weird.
So
I might smash it, Brian.
don't touch that.
Why? I mean, if he's trying to take over my soul.
Ah, watch out! His hat's not on.
All his power's gone. Took his hat off. Sorry. Little alien fellow. Does his tongue come out too?
No, don't touch it. All right, it's past my bedtime. It's
Well-
way past my bedtime,
Yeah.
and
I need to go home and take NyQuil.
good luck to everybody. And hopefully we're both healthy next week, and we're both still in the playoffs.
Play of Hunt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, hopefully.
Are you ready, Danny?
I'm always ready, Brian. Ready? Coo, 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 coo.